Hello, all my chickadees. Welcome back to Glass Hearts. Wow, I didn't realize it's almost been a year since the last part. I am so sorry. And I left you guys on a cliffhanger. My goodness. Alrighty, we're gonna jump on in and I guess get our first ending. 'Cause it felt like it was right there at an ending, you know? This will be part 8, I do believe. If you haven't seen the other parts, I should suggest you hop on over to the channel and check them out. Oh my gosh, December 23rd. Oh my god, it's been 10 months. I am so sorry. Okay, but we left off with this cliffhanger. We followed this nurse and they are wanting to do something with our baby boy Moyu. No. So I think we could possibly get 2 endings here because this feels like it's close to an ending. So I'm gonna do the one I don't want to do first, okay? This is, do we go in and intervene? We're gonna hesitate. I'm sorry, sweet baby. Kai wanted to move and do something. He really did. He knew he had to do something. He had to protect Moyu. But despite his best efforts, his body didn't budge. As if it wasn't coordinated with his brain at all. It was stubbornly rooted in place, heavy like a rock, and just as useless. A sick feeling in his stomach kept growing with every passing second, and all of a sudden, Kai felt like he was about to vomit. He fell to his knees. He could no longer see the room, the familiar resonation in Moyu's eyes. Chin-zi. He covered his ears with his hands not to hear them either. Oh, so they are doing what we thought they were doing. His chest felt heavy, as if someone stood on it and pressed down, preventing Kai from breathing. Blood rushed to his ears, and soon an excruciating pain tore through his head, sending flashes of images that Kai kept neatly pushed to the very back of his brain. Hyozi, the police station, his parents, Subin. Time was passing, slow and fast at the same time, frozen yet galloping. And there was noise, a lot of noise. Someone was screaming. Was it him? He couldn't tell. Words, and more words. They meant nothing to him. Hands hauled him up. They were rough, familiar. The guards. Perhaps the screams weren't his after all. The hands yanked him back, away from the nurse station, from Chin, from Moyu. Then there was darkness. Oh, it's continuing! Wait. Where am I? In my room? Kai turned his head to the side instinctively. Moyu's bed was empty. I don't remember falling asleep. But he was awake now. And it was morning. His bedding smelled fresh, and the day was warm. Slowly, memories from the night before started pouring into Kai's head all at once. He gasped, feeling the terror creep. Terror pierced through his heart like a hot knife. It was then that he realized he was not alone in the room. Oh, the stupid nurse. Oh my god. I remember you. I remember you. And I hate your guts. Did you sleep well, Song? You. I'm taking that as a no. Wait, where's Moyu? What did you do with him? The nurse measured him with a long, cold look. His eyes were dark-rimmed and tired. Moyu's whereabouts are not your concern. Don't give me that shit. I saw what happened. So you have. I feel bad we didn't say anything, but I thought it was going to end, like, immediately for some reason. Don't worry, we will go back and intervene, okay? Which means we have a problem, don't we? You're always where you shouldn't be. causing trouble, challenging authority, stealing. How disappointing. There was a chance for you to leave this place. Maybe in 10, 20 years, if you were good. You would have gone back to your old life and met with your friends and family again. Wouldn't you like that? Walk outside these walls as a free man. But no, of course not. You had to take what you probably thought was the high road. And what do you think will happen now? Where will your thirst for truth and justice lead you? Now, you will never leave. I'll personally make sure of it. You sick bastard. Save your curses. You brought this on yourself. Kai clenched his teeth, hands balling into fist. He was angry. So angry. Tell me what happened to Moyu. You really do care about him, don't you? Kai said nothing. His lips were clamped into a tight, thin line. Chin only sighed. Very well, because I do think that your display of courage was somewhat impressive. I'll indulge you just this once. I requested for Moyu to be transferred to a different room. A single unit in a quiet area where you can rest undisturbed and free of your meddling. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, poor Moyu. No. Putting him in a separate room where they can toy with him whenever they want. This way, I'm able to attend to his needs much better than before, so you can keep selling him off. Kai felt as if his heart was starting to beat slower and slower. Chin's intentions were clear. He didn't try to hide it anymore, Kai realized. He didn't try to hide the fact that he wanted to isolate Moyu and have him completely at his mercy. If he was telling this to Kai, it could only mean that he no longer perceived him as a threat. A single room in which you're free to do whatever you wish with him. So you have Moyu as your slave now, is that it? To his surprise, Chin wasn't gloating. The expression on his face were tense and abashed, with a slight blush rising on the high points of his cheeks. And why would I change my mind? I don't know. You seem fond of that boy. What is that supposed to mean? Nothing. Forget it. Now that Kai thought of it, it was obvious. There were so many signals, so many situations that left him confused, but now made sense. Chin didn't want to enslave Moyu. He had to, because what he truly desired, he would never get any other way. Kai closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them again, Chin was still there, suddenly so out of place. He knew that Kai knew. Moyu will never be yours, no matter what you do. You can keep him as a pet, drugged out of his mind and barely conscious, but that's not what you really want. You want him to love you back. Shut up. And you're afraid, because what if Moyu comes back to himself? What if he sees you, really sees you for who you are and what you've done, with his beautiful eyes filled with repulsion? Or worse yet, he'll get discharged, ready to tell the whole world what he has gone through. Wouldn't that be bad? I told you to shut the fuck up, Song. When Chin's fist shot towards him, Kai didn't make any efforts to dodge and just took the blow. A second later, his hard gaze returns to Chin's. You can threaten me all you want, but it looks to me like I'm not the one who's finished once the truth gets out. You. Chin swallowed whatever he was about to say next and took a moment to collect himself. That doesn't matter, because the truth will never come out. Who would believe you? Or him? What are you smiling at? Kai reached into his pocket and pulled out the smartphone that Subin had given him. He unlocked the screen and tossed the device to Chin. People will believe what they see. Don't do that! He's gonna take it! Chin furrowed his brows and looked down at the phone, not understanding. When the realization dawned on him, his eyes nearly bulged out of his head. What have you... Don't show it to him. He'll take it. No. Give me the phone right now. It won't change anything. Oh, he sent it to Subin. Save this video ASAP. The staff does this. They're all involved. Shit. Shit. Saved. Are you okay? Kai. I've already sent this video to a person I trust. They'll know what to do with it. Get wrecked, boy. Oh, they made it to court. 1 year later, days that Kai had spent in the Long River Hospital were no longer something that he relieved every single time he woke up in the morning. The memories were still there, always with him like a heavy luggage that fit nowhere, but faded out, bleached with a scent of acceptance and peace. Now, better memories start to take their place with time. Life took a turn once again, and this time, Kai was determined to make the good last. Subin saved his life. The lawyer he hired not only won Kai's case, but also secured him a considerable amount of money as retribution. They were lucky. The person who really murdered Hyozun that night, a parent of one of his victims that committed suicide, finally decided to come out and admit to the crime. I knew our boy didn't do it. Their battle in the court didn't end there. Kai's lawyer took Moyu's case next, and with all the evidence they managed to collect, Chin's Polaroids, Kai's video of Moyu with Ziyi, Moyu and Kai's testimonies, the case was already won before it even made it to the mainstream media. Once the medical records documenting Moyu's case had been gathered, a board of impartial medical professionals were asked to analyze them and present their findings in court. In the official statement, the board describes how Moyu was detained in the Long River Psychiatric Hospital against his best interests, and how the treatment he received didn't reflect the actual state of his mental health. It was proven that the constant mismatching of his medicine doses contributed to his increasing apathy and loss of cognitive functions, which in turn rendered him unresponsive to most stimuli, not to mention lasting damage to his brain and internal organs. Oh no, he's got permanent damage? As a result, the court sentenced Chin and his accomplices to life in prison. Heck yeah! Without the possibility of parole. Moreover, just like in Kai's case, Moyu was offered a substantial compensatory, I can't speak today, damages, and a series of expensive medical treatments for the next few years of his life. Two years later, Kai was free. He had enough funds now to live his life comfortably for several years. Even if he didn't go to work, he could return to the restaurant at any time. He could visit his old friends. He could go see his parents if he felt the courage to. He could seek Moyu. He hasn't heard from the other man ever since the trial, and frankly, had no idea how to find him. Now, even if he even should, if Moyu hadn't contacted him, probably meant that he did not wish to be found by Kai either. Kai knew that he couldn't blame him. Moyu's life was complicated, and his road to wellness and recovery was undoubtedly a bumpy and long one. That, and the fact that when Moyu needed him most, Kai failed him. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be a short ending. I'm sorry. We're going to go rescue you, I swear. He failed. The apartment that Kai purchased was something that Subin had found for him. It was nice. Not too big, not too small, with 2 separate rooms, a small kitchen and a bathroom. He was quite happy with it, especially since it didn't take more than 20 minutes on foot to get to where Subin lived and the restaurant that he used to work at. Perhaps I should give him a call and ask if the job is still waiting for me. It's been too long since I did anything. At least I know what to expect, working as a waiter. Just when he was about to pick up his phone, someone knocked on the front door. Who could it be at this hour? Who is it? No answer. I guess I'll just open and hope it's not a peddler. Or a thief. Moyu! Our sweet baby boy! Hello! Hello, Kai. I'm sorry for showing up like this, but I was nearby and I just thought that perhaps you'd like to talk? Kai opened and closed his lips a few times. Was his imagination playing tricks on him? Or was this really Moyu on his doorstep? Umbrella in hand and an expectant expression on his face. Invite that boy in! The same Moyu whose face he was seeing in his dreams night after night. But maybe this was a dream. Maybe he'd fallen asleep and was snoring on the couch right now, completely oblivious to his dream's persona's turmoil. Kai swallowed hard, suddenly feeling like he was in the presence of a ghost, hoping that he wouldn't stir awake, even if it was all just a product of his uneasy mind. Hallways. Come on in? Moyu nodded, folding his umbrella and stepping inside. Kai moved away, meaning to make space, but the other boy's hand caught his wrist and halted all movements. A heartbeat passed. Then another. It felt warm, strong, alive, and very much real. I'm here. Moyu said this with such confidence, as if he could read Kai's racing thoughts all along. When his lips stretched into a small, knowing smile, Kai lost all the self-composure he had left and crushed him into a tight, emotional hug. Ah! Your ending is... Ending 3. Moyu's ending 3. Lost hopes or second chances. Thank you for playing. Oh! Oh my gosh, I thought it was just going to be a bad ending. Oh, we actually got a I was going to say full ass ending. Oh my gosh. Look, we got an ending. We got an ending. Oh, that's so awesome. Yay. Oh, that's new. No, I think that showed us on the phone. Look how well he looked there. He looks so, like, well. Oh. Okay. No, don't hit that X. How do I... Return. Okay. I still want to know what the heck's going on with that one. We didn't get there. Because that guy thinks he sees a ghost, I think? Okay, I do want to just wrap up that ending thing, and we gotta go back in. We gotta go back in, and this time intervene. We gotta save him this time. I'm so glad it ended up well for us, and they went to jail. Yes, I support that pairing. Chin in jail. That's the best pairing I've heard in a while. Okay, okay, that was actually considered a neutral ending, I think. Alright, so, here we go. We're going to save the boy. Give me a big old sip of tea. Intervene. Adrenaline pumped in Kai's veins, setting all of the nerves ablaze. There was no other way out of this fucked up mess. Not for him and not for Moyu. If he wasn't going to sit back and watch, he could as well jump straight into the fire. He barely registered his own body moving as he yanked the door open and bashed into the room, charging straight towards Moyu and the nurse. It's you! What are you? How did you get here? Kai pushed her to the side. The woman was small and lithe. It took no effort. We're leaving, Moyu. Moyu's glass-like eyes shot towards Kai's hand as it caught his own, and used it to yank him to his feet. He half fell onto Kai's chest, pupils dilating in shock. Kai? Everything will be okay. He wanted to say and do so much more, but there was no time. He couldn't gather his thoughts anyway. And the next moment, Chin was by Ziggy's side helping her up. Oh, the bastard's back. Song, I should have known you would cause trouble. Everything seemed to freeze around them. Kai's gaze followed Chin, finding it focused on a small scalpel that rested on the table behind him. Don't do it! The same one he picked a syringe from a moment earlier. Yes! 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 Look at this! Oh, I freaking love it! Oh, Moyu knows he's safe with Kai. Look at him hold on to him, even in his drugged up state. He's like, Kai is the safest one in this room right now. Go, Kai. Protect your boy. They reached for the tool at the same time. They both reached for the gun. But it was Kai who made it first. Ziyi let out a strangled gasp when the blade stopped a mere centimeter from Chin's chest. Moyu breathed out heavily, body glued to Kai's side. Stand back. Both of you. This is ridiculous, you... How dare you spy on us? How dare you interfere with things that don't even concern you? We will make your life a living hell. Certainly you've had it too easy. Girl, you were about to... S.A. this boy? Okay. Return. Argue with them. Things that don't even concern me? You could have just done your thing like everyone else. You should have followed the rules and kept your eyes on the ground. Maybe you'd even profit from it if you were smart. What did you get out of this madness? We won't let you leave. There's nowhere to go. You'll spend the rest of your life in the hospital. If we report on you and say that you threatened our lives, is it worth it? No one was going to get hurt. Moyu would return to his room safely in a few hours and you wouldn't even know anything at all happened. But something did happen, you little bastard. I hate I hate Nurse Chin so much. I just hate this guy so much. Perhaps neither would he. Just think about it, young lad. Return to your room now and we can pretend nothing ever happened. What alternative do you have? Moyu's hands grasped Kai's shirt with surprising strength, as if refusing to be separated from him. His usually porcelain skin was pale and ashy, mouth contorted in a humorless, desperate grimace. He didn't say anything, and yet Kai felt like he could hear his thoughts in his head so very clearly, begging for help. Both of you are sick. How long has this been going on? I saw your Polaroid collection, Chin, and I know who Moyu used to be before coming to Long River. Is that why you're doing this? You're using his past as an excuse to sell him for more than you do others. All of this under the false pretense of caring for him, however unconvincing it is. You know nothing about Moyu's past, boy, and you have no idea what you're talking about. Chin took a step back and crossed his arms over his chest. His eyes narrowed. His past, you see, the thing that he did? At first, everything seemed fine. More than fine, in fact. It was brilliant, inspiring, luxurious. He was living his best life. Traveling, recording music, even sharing some of his future projects and plans with his fans. What are you saying, Chin? You did know about him before? Chin ignored her. The way he smiled every time he greeted his live audience. Or when he was going to sleep late at night. Always so polite, so kind and caring. He would stay up at night just to answer his private messages. Who else does that? He was special from the very beginning. Hold the phone. He was stalking him. When he was going to sleep late at night, he would stay up at night just to answer his private messages. But his old life was eating him alive. I started noticing it very early on. the hastily covered dark circles under his eyes, the way he had no energy to talk with us. Us? You were one of his fans, and would just spin the camera around purposely until it was time to go. He lost that spark. It was strange to see Chin gesticulate so much. The expression on his face was completely different than normal, too. His eyes became almost glassy and unseeing, overcome with emotion. Kai could feel his skin crawl. I was looking for answers. I sought other people's opinions, not only as fans, but also those who knew more than I did about streamers and about stream stars. I, of course, even tried to talk to him about it, but Moyu never replied. You're a freaking yandere! Actually. Oh, my God. I don't know if I'd classify. He's a stalker, is what he is. Jin clenched his fist. Little did I know that he was constantly being pushed beyond his limits, malnourished, sick, and not getting any treatment. He couldn't even make any decisions without his manager's consent. That's how stream stars work. That's how it deceives us. And it felt like I was there, seeing every step of it. They tried to hide the truth from us, from everyone, but we saw right through them. There's so much proof. Siyu took a step away from Chin, but the man didn't even notice, so she's just like, okay, you are a little more crazy than I thought you were. I am getting out. His eyes were on Kai and Moyu, now wider than ever with a hint of madness lingering in them. His entire existence was a lie. He was lying not only to others, but to himself too. Lying to me. I don't know what the last straw was that made StarTime get rid of him, but when he was brought to Long River, the case was so hush-hush that no one could really find out much about it. He was a wreck back then. So confused and angry, he would lash out and scream, fighting us like a wild animal. Of course, I couldn't tell him that we knew each other, that I was always there when he streamed, that I was a friend. A friend? Because you stalked him online? I supported him. I paid so much money to be able to, for him to be able to do well. That's what friends do. Oh no, parasocial, no. With the right medication, we were able to get him under control. He can live peacefully now, not remembering his horrible past. He's crazy. First he was Moyu's obsessive fan, and now... You have to be kidding me. Is this peace? Being drugged to the point where you can't even talk? Not to mention, the things you've done to him. God! Don't you dare give me this look. He did much worse. Did you think all those internet celebrities do is stream? Stream star workers are all whores, sleeping around whenever they're told to. Money. Money is all about money. If you have enough, you can be with anyone you please. There is no place for love. We were all played, but now it's different. Different? How? You're selling him for money. No. What I do for him. For you. Moyu. Stream stars have taken everything he had. I've eavesdropped that much from the people who brought him here. His management, I assume. He's in huge debts. He has nothing. Nothing. And I never let anything bad happen to him. No one can touch him. Excuse me? You're the one selling him for money? What was the nurse about to do, No one but you? I saw the hickeys on Moyu's neck. Those didn't materialize out of thin air. Suddenly, hurried steps and voices could be heard resonating in the corridor. Kai's heart raced. The guards? But they weren't that close yet. There was still a chance. Entirely without a plan, but determined not to waste another second, Kai pushed Moyu through the door, grabbed his hand, and ran. Yes! Go, 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 go! Only after they rounded several corners and reached the other side of the hospital did Kai allow himself and Moyu to stop for a moment and catch a breather. From what he could tell, no one was chasing them anymore. Chen and Ziggy gave up after a couple of minutes, probably thinking there was nowhere for them to escape anyway. And the guards? Well, Kai couldn't see or hear them either, which meant that him and Moyu had at least a few heartbeats to come up with a plan on what to do next. They stopped by the water refill station, and Kai instructed Moyu to drink before doing so himself. His throat felt like sandpaper. Okay, smart. Make sure our boy's hydrated. We just went on a run. When's the last time poor Moyu got to be that physical, like moving? Okay, I take it back. I regret my statement. I'm sure he's had to be physical, but I meant like running. I'm sorry, Moyu. I didn't mean to. Okay, I'm sorry. I've already put my foot in my mouth today. Okay. We have to get out of here, Moyu. Staying is not an option after what happened. The main entrance is still closed. Any ideas? Perhaps we could wait until someone opens it and try to leave once it gets busier. It's always easier to blend in with the crowd. Question is how not to get caught until then. There's a side door. Sometimes it's open. At night, too. A side door? How do you know that? Oh, God. I went through it before. Let's try it. Do you know the way? Yes. It's not far. This time it was Moyu who grabbed Kai's hand. Come on, baby. We can do this. We can escape. There really is a back door. Not that I didn't believe Moyu's words, but... Intern psychiatrist Tang. Oh, I can't remember. Was he actually a good guy? I think he was new. Was he? Kai? Moyu? What are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. Leaving. Rush past him. Oh my god. Okay, save. All these are pretty good. Oh, the music's kicking off. I probably have it too low for you guys to hear, but it's the menu music. Yeah, well, I could ask you the same thing. I bet they told him to come guard. Kai instinctively stepped in front of Moyu, creating a barrier between him and the intern. He would take no more chances. They were getting out of this place, whether it involved violence or not. I could ask you the same, Doctor. It's a late hour to come to work. I work night shift today. I suppose you can't say the same about yourself. On the contrary, we have every reason to leave this place, and we will, right now. The intern hesitated, looking from Kai to Moyu, and then again at Kai as if assessing his options. He looked torn between fearing what Kai could do if he tried to stop them, and what would happen if he didn't. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you to move out of the way. You can pretend you never even saw us. I'm sure this is something we can talk about. You just give me a chance. Whatever happened that made you feel threatened, I'm sure it could be worked through. No, it can't. No, it can't. You have no idea. We leaving. We leaving now. We leaving now. Oh, there's a lot to talk about. I'm just not sure we have the time right now. Kai took a step towards the door, Moyu right behind him. The intern backed away. Good, good. Now, you didn't see anything. This place is corrupt, Doctor, and the two of us can't stay here. Corrupt? Kai, just talk to me. You leave and then what? Where would you go? Anywhere but here. Kai thought about it for a moment, then fished the Polaroids out of his pocket and threw one to Tang. Anywhere is better than here. Yes. The intern caught the picture with a confused look. We turned it in his hands, adjusting the glasses sitting low on his nose. When he took a glance at what was in the photograph, his facial expression morphed into horror. It belonged to Chin, but I don't think he's the only one having them. Intern Tang fell silent for a moment, not able to take his eyes off the picture. His fingers were shaking so violently he almost dropped it. How can this be? Kai almost pitied him. The man was young and inexperienced. It was very unlikely that he had any idea what was really taking place in the hospital. As an intern, he probably didn't even choose to come to work here at all. It was just something he had to do to gain experience and finish his studies. But it changed nothing. Tang was the last and only thing standing between them and the exit. And that was all that mattered to Kai at the moment. Using the intern's moment of distraction as an advantage, Kai caught Moyu by the arm and ran right past him and through the door. Go, 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 go! The door swung open with a gust of cold air from the outside, ruffling Kai and Moyu's hair. For a second, they were shocked by the bright neon night lights and the noise coming from the streets, despite the late hour. But then Kai shook his head, leading Moyu outside, still wary of their surroundings, but knowing in his bones that no one would be able to stop them anymore. They did it. They were out and free, at least for now. So, I have this one friend. His name is Subin. We'll go to his place now, okay? I'm sure he'll let us stay tonight. After that, we'll, think about what we could do from now on. Kai felt a stab of pain seeing the resigned expression on Moyu's face, but he knew it was only logical of him to be reluctant. Not everyone would help two psychiatric ward escapees and host them in their flat. Probably against the law, even if that person was a close friend or a family member. In Kai's case, especially if that person was a family member, his family would kick him out without a second thought and report him to the hospital. But Kai knew that Subin would help. He would never risk Moyu's safety if he had any doubts. The night was cold and rainy, making Moyu hug closer to Kai, shivers running down his spine. After several minutes of walking, their clothing was almost completely soaked, sticking to their bodies uncomfortably and making their bones freeze in the chilly wind. Kai never let go of Moyu as they walked, determined to provide him at least some warmth. It seemed like hours, but they finally made it, and when Subin opened the door, his eyes widening at the sight of Kai and his 3 companions. 3 companions? 3 companions? Kai and his 3 companions. It's just Kai and Moyu. 3 companions? I'm confused. Urging them inside, Kai almost collapsed right then and there from all the pent-up stress and intense crashing relief. One sec. I'll turn on the light. Oh boy. Okay. Better. Please make yourself at home. I'll prepare some dry clothes and towels. He didn't even ask any questions. Like a true friend. Like a true friend. Despite Subin's invitation, the two of them remained in the entrance, standing there awkwardly and not knowing what to do. After a minute or two, Moyu shifted closer to Kai, unconsciously seeking comfort. Subin reappeared only to wave them closer, then pointed towards an open room. A bedroom, Kai realized, one that was nicely furnished and seemed amazingly cozy. Come on, this will be your room for now, if that's all right. I didn't have enough time to vacuum it, so it might not be spotless, but I think it'll do. Here, your towels. There's warm water for you guys to take a bath. The shower is right over there. Subin. Yeah? Kai felt everything at once. Gratitude, relief, embarrassment, uneasiness. Subin had done so much for them that he wasn't sure it was even possible to repay that debt. I'm really sorry for showing up here like this. I didn't. If I knew, I would have. But Subin just shushed him, putting his hands on Kai's shoulder in a reassuring gesture before stepping back. Let's talk about all this in the morning, alright? Luckily, it's Friday, so I don't have to work tomorrow. Subin's gaze was soft as it held Kai's. Then it slid over to Moyu, taking in his rough appearance but not commenting on it. Instead, he said, You must be Moyu. I heard a great deal about you. Oh? Subin held out his hand to him, introducing himself, then smiled. You're both safe now, so make sure to rest well, alright? My fridge is full. Fresh clothes are waiting on you in the bedroom. If you need anything else, just ask. I'll call the lawyer tomorrow. But, no buts, okay? Just resting for tonight. Take a shower and let me know once you're ready for a very late dinner. I have some leftovers from the restaurant, and despite them being leftovers, everything is pretty amazing. You won't be disappointed. Thank you. Subin nodded and disappeared in the kitchen with a wink, leaving him and Moyu by themselves. Okay, Subin is the best bro, okay? He is amazing. Oh gosh, that boy deserves a reward. He is so sweet and kind and caring, and he's just like, yep, I am taking care of you guys. You guys are safe. Here's you a nice clean bed. Here's warm towels. There's a shower. I'm hooking up you guys with some nice food. We'll call the lawyer in the morning. Everything is good. Oh. Kai didn't remember the last time taking a shower and having a full meal felt that good. Oh, back to court. Yay. 1 year later. Okay, this seems like the same thing. Subin saved his life. Okay. Okay, this is the same as before. They're back in prison 2 years later. What he did once everything was over was rent a nice place and invite Moyu to stay with him. Yay! Moyu's with us this time. At first, it was supposed to be a roommate thing. Just friends, no strings attached. But Kai quickly understood that the real Moyu, the Moyu on new medication and well taken care of by his new therapist, was a completely different person than the one he knew. He was clear-headed, well-articulated, athletic, determined, sexy, confident. He knew what he wanted, and he wouldn't rest until he got it. Despite them having separate bedrooms and a living room, which translated into 2 separate beds and a huge couch, all comfortable and honestly bigger than necessary, since day one, Moyu would find a way to sleep with Kai. Oh, at first, it was something he did for comfort, or even out of fear. In Long River, both of them had to watch their backs at all times, and Moyu certainly didn't take the safety for granted whenever he was alone. So Kai allowed it. The bed wasn't crampy even with 2 people in it. So, despite going to work every morning, both of them were able to get a good night's sleep. But soon, that wasn't enough anymore. This Moyu, the new Moyu that slept in Kai's bed, turned out to be a clingy, weirdly adorable, and needy creature that basked in Kai's attention and actively sought it. Whenever they were watching a movie, Moyu's head would land on Kai's lap. Whenever they prepared dinner, his arms would brush against Kai as if by accident. Nearly every free minute they spent together, they did sports. Dancing. Kai was terrible at it, but Moyu's patient coaching helped a lot. Playing games, went out to have fun, visited Subin in the restaurant on numerous occasions and got a generous discount every time they made up for it in tips. So they get a good discount and then they just turn around and give it back in tips. That's really sweet. One night before falling asleep, Moyu turned to face Kai with a somewhat tense expression on his face. Words were bubbling up in him, but for long minutes he kept them in, unsure of himself. "What's up?" They didn't have to whisper. There was no one there except them. The apartment walls were impressively thick, but Kai still thought it was appropriate for some reason. Moyu gnawed at his bottom lip for a while, and just when Kai thought he wouldn't say anything else, he did. "It's stupid." "What is?" I was just wondering, what are we exactly?" Maybe it was from something in the tone of his voice, or the way his eyes went slightly too wide and too panicky for the innocence of the question, but Kai instantly knew what he was talking about. He swallowed, trying not to make his insecurity show because he did not know how to answer that. "You've done so much for me, more than anyone has ever done, and more than I thought possible. If it wasn't for you, I'd never leave the hospital. I'd never leave Chin. You've been by my side even when I didn't want to talk to you. When I would just ignore you and retreat to my shell, you never gave up on me. I am more than a friend." It wasn't really a question. Kai could hear the polite certainty in Moyu's voice. He nodded. Because what was the point in lying? Moyu was so much more than a friend. Which didn't mean that they couldn't remain friends. Was he to turn down Kai's feelings? "In the hospital, you shared things about yourself with me. Difficult things. I always remembered your words, and I wondered what it meant. I understood that communicating with me had to mean a lot if it pushed you into telling me about your past and your parents. Your preferences. But I didn't understand it like I understand it now. I never returned this favor. What you heard from Chin had to sound weird and crazy. Not to mention that no one really knows what happened before my employers decided to send me to Long River. I wasn't asking you to repay me. Really, you'd rather keep your past in the past." Moyu shook his head. "You are more than a friend to me. If you want to know, I want to tell you. To clear things up." Even though Kai suspected as much, his chest filled with warmth at the confirmation. More than a friend. "Moyu, you don't owe me anything. I will honor your decision, whatever it may be." Moyu's hands reached towards Kai's, lacing their fingers together. After a long moment, he propped his head against Kai's shoulder, body relaxing. "I may not owe you, but I want to tell you. You know, I was trying to become an idol, and when that didn't work out, I decided to sign in with Star Time and become one of Starstream's streamers. It didn't take long for my content to get some publicity, and from then on, the viewers start pouring in." Kai nodded. He did know that. I was granted more liberties than others on the same contracts. Like singing and dancing, and whenever I wasn't doing lifestyle or some specific content that my manager prepared, I could focus on it. They even allowed me to make music and share my dance practice videos. And everything looked great. Perhaps even better than an idol life. But the more popular I got, the tighter the leash was becoming. In exchange for being able to pursue my dreams, I had to keep up with the schedule, no matter how crazily busy and mentally exhausting it was. It felt like there was at least 2 places I had to be simultaneously at any given time, which only contributed to my growing frustration with being unable to keep up. 3 hours of sleep a day was messing with my head, and paired with a diet that consisted of one salad and a few fruits. Let's just say I wasn't in the best shape. At the same time, my growing popularity was pulling in more and more fans, haters and stalkers. Some of them would try to find out where I live, what's my phone number, how to get to know me, and so on. When I found my apartment broken into one evening, I freaked out. Since then, I was becoming more and more paranoid. Okay, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. I would be, freaked out and paranoid, too. Can you imagine, your apartment getting broken into, and you know there are stalkers and haters out there and people that want to, get in your personal business? That is terrifying. It was difficult to keep up that carefree, happy persona that was created for me, when all I could think about was hunger, fatigue, and fear that someone would randomly break in when I was actually in the apartment or attack me on the streets. I felt so trapped, so alone. My management was taking me for all the lavish holidays abroad, and I couldn't even enjoy it. The beaches, the parties, the landscapes. I wasn't able to even think about any of it. Kai gave Moyu's hand a squeeze. But the last straw for me was when they started pushing my work towards what they called a sexy concept. More skin, more the fake flamboyant heartbreaker attitude, which I didn't even have to begin with. More innuendos in whatever I was saying and doing. More of someone else, not me. Those changes resulted in my live chats and private messages exploding with people interested in sexting and getting off on my content. It was a subtle transition, but as it progressed, I just felt more and more exhausted and overwhelmed. I was aware of the entertainment industry as cutthroat and unsympathetic, but that is too much. I feel so sorry for him. I didn't want to be this person. The sexy guy who gets the money because he carefully paces the amount of skin he shows on camera, flexing his muscles and sending kisses to his highest paying viewers, pretending to be innocent, coming off as anything but. But the management didn't care what I wanted. They told me that if I felt tired, then I should resign from all the extra activities such as dancing and singing. If I felt alone, I should invite other streamers on my lives to be slutty together. Oh my god. You had horrible management. There was just nowhere to go from there. I tried to cope with it, tried to continue doing my best, but they were always taking it a step further, and then another step, until I was standing at the edge of a cliff, wondering whether jumping was the only way to feel free again. When they tried to set me up for a date in a 5-star hotel with one of the top-paying viewers, oh no. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. They were pimping him out. They were freaking pimping him out. A CEO of a pharmaceutical company, I already knew where this was going. I demanded that they terminate my contract the very next day. Did they? No. But I fought them harder than they expected. I stopped streaming and started going out without telling anyone, ignoring my manager's messages and switching off my phone so it was completely dead most of the time. They didn't like it. So that's when they start making excuses why you couldn't show up? But they realized that the excuses wouldn't last forever, so they resorted to threats. They said that if I broke the contract, they'd take everything I had and even go after my family, demanding money. I threatened them back with the police and exposing their shady practices to the media. I think they got scared I might really do it because all communication stopped after that. Then one day, people I didn't know came to my apartment and took me to Long River under the pretense of a long-concealed illness. The rest? You already know the rest. By the time Moyu finished talking, Kai was shaking. He didn't realize that he was holding his breath. The knuckle of the palm that wasn't squeezing Moyu's hand balled into a bone-white fist. Those fuckers! I'm so sorry, Moyu. His voice came choked out and tight, like his throat refused to work properly all of a sudden. Kai refused to attribute these to the tears welling in his eyes, blinking them away immediately. I wish I knew. I wish I could have helped you sooner. I hadn't done enough. Moyu shook his head. On the contrary, you went to great lengths just to figure out what was going on. You didn't have to do that. You could have just left me. And you have no way of knowing what was happening. The only person that had a vague idea of things was Chin. And now he's in jail. So at least a small portion of justice has been served. That's what I want to believe. You're right, but Star Time deserves punishment too. And your managers. And everyone enabling what they're doing to people who work for them. There has to be more people like you out there. Wouldn't they speak if we... No, Kai. I mean, maybe. Maybe some would. But a battle against Star Time isn't something that I'm ready for. To be honest, I'm not sure I'll ever be. My freedom. A normal life. And you. I love what I have now. And I wouldn't risk losing it. Even if that makes me a coward. It doesn't. You need time to heal. To get over everything. I understand that. Kai mentally slapped himself for the get over everything part of his sentence. How insensitive was he to say something like that to Moyu? He had every right to never fully recover from all the abuse and neglect he'd been subjected to. Moyu's life up to this point was a nightmare, and Kai would never fully understand just how much trauma was hiding behind Moyu's sharp eyes and understanding smiles. He was better now, certainly, but that didn't mean that he was okay. Oh my gosh, Moyu had a rough run of it, dang. Man, his company absolutely freaking sucked. On the other side of things, it's amazing his company hasn't, come after him, demanding more money or something. My goodness. I'll help you leave all that behind if you let me. Moyu shifted away from him, but only to look into Kai's eyes. Please. Oh, he's blushing! They stared at each other for a few heartbeats, not saying anything else. Something shifted in the air then, the tension escaping from Kai's shoulders under Moyu's expectant gaze, replaced by a sense of longing and a hunger that he tried hard to control every time the other boy was next to him. From up close, Moyu's rosy, pouty lips looked even fuller, even more kissable. His nose was small and perfectly proportioned, an elegant slope straight from a magazine. Thick, inky black lashes adorned his cat-like eyes, forming a heavy curtain over the dark chocolate irises. His side profile was a work of art in itself, a sculpted figure of a deity, and was taking Kai's breath away every time his eyes landed on it. He inched closer involuntarily, drawn by the sensual picture of that Moyu's face, relaxed and open, painted just for him. The time was never right before. Things were happening, and Kai couldn't let himself get lost in what he felt for Moyu. He needed to nip his feelings in the bud, he told himself. But now, Moyu's eyes told him that he didn't need to control it anymore. That it was okay to listen to his heart. Kiss him, kiss him, kiss him. Moyu, They leaned in simultaneously, like one body controlled by one desire. Moyu's hands on Kai's face and Kai's arms around his waist, falling together like two puzzle pieces, drawing each other closer and closer until there was no space between their bodies and no room left for doubt. No barriers, no danger that could tear them apart. when their lips met in a soft, deliciously unhurried yet deliberate kiss, Kai realized that Moyu tasted and felt exactly like he imagined he would. Like home. His home. Oh, that was really nice. Your ending is Moyu ending 1, breaking the circle. Oh, yay! So we got ending 1 and 3. Ah! Heck yeah! Heck yeah! Yeah, we got ending 1 and 3. So that means we still got 8 endings. I would love to finish this game and get all the endings. I'll try to be more consistent now, but oh, I'm so glad the boys escaped in both of these endings, 1 and 3. Moyu and Kai were able to get out, and Chin went to jail. Yes. Yes. Oh, felt so freaking good that Chin went to jail. That was a neutral ending and a good ending. I'm afraid of a bad ending, okay? I'm afraid of a bad ending. But there you go, guys. We finally hit some endings. I hope you enjoyed them. Like I said before, if you haven't seen the other episodes, please jump on over and check it out. They have a full playlist on my channel. And I would love to continue and try to finish this game and get all these done. Yeah. Our baby Moyu! Yay! Baby Moyu was able to get out and get the actual help he needed. Heck yeah, I'm here for it. And a big thank you to my Patreons and channel members. Thank you so much for your support. And I will see all you guys in the next time. Oh, I was about to say in the next one. I've been watching way too much Markiplier lately, guys. But I'll see all you guys next time. Bye.